Quarterfinal matchups on the way. Mexico against Canada will kick things off. Well, we've seen 3 groups whittled down to 8 remaining teams. And today, you know, if you win, you're at least playing for a medal on the final game day of the AmeriCup. The fans here in Recife, Brazil have received us so well, have brought energy, and they're looking to be entertained by 4 games, 8 teams that all have the winner-go-home mentality. Here is the road to the final. The bracket breaks down as such. If Canada or Mexico win, they will play the winner of Brazil and Dominican Republic. As I said, a win here guarantees you at least a shot at a medal podium finish at the AmeriCup. Something that Canada did in 2015, beating these same Mexicans. It is the 10th time that Canada, or that was the 10th time that Canada had defeated Mexico in an AmeriCup. Mexico looking to pay them back here today. Well, we've seen both of these teams play 3 times, Javon. We're about to be introduced to a team from Mexico, I believe, running out of the tunnel as they do here in the AmeriCup. They had the opening day upset win over Team USA, then stubbed their toe a little bit against Venezuela.
They did. I think what you learned about this team over the last couple of days, last couple of games is, you know, Daniel Amigo is the centerpiece for this club here. And he's got to come out and have a big game, you know, for them to be victorious against Canada. The ability to get down low and have, you know, move right or left, finish right or left. I imagine Mexico is going to come out and try and establish him early. But then you have Fabian Jaimes, right? And I think he's that auxiliary piece, that secondary piece there. That's really been more for me, you know, the X factor, right? 14 points and 6 rebounds and 2.3 assists. If you're Canada, you've got to come out and make sure that he doesn't get going, right? Because then now they have a 2-headed snake.
It's been pretty efficient as Fabian Jaimes shooting 58% from the field. We see the Canadians now walk out of the tunnel and emerge through the smoke. And they brought the smoke in their last game, led by Delano Banton, who took over in the 4th quarter.
He did, right? Your best player steps up, and he's the best player on the court. You give yourself a chance to win. Now, going into this match here, listen, there's going to be a different level of intensity, a different level of compete. The scout is out, right? Teams, or Mexico in this case, is going to try and isolate him and make sure he's out of the game. Canada, everybody's got to step up. Shooters have got to shoot. You know, today's not a day where you just shoot the ball. You know, players got to make shots as well, then open up lanes and create some advantages. And now Delano's able to get downhill, and your bigs are allowed to make plays.
We'll pause now for the national anthems.
Remain standing for the national anthem of Hino Nacional do México. Welcome teams, exchange gifts. Cumprimento dos atletas. Vamos nessa.
Moments away from tip-off, the first of 4 quarterfinal games here in the AmeriCup. Vasquez, Peralta, and Fernandez, your officials here for the game between Canada and Mexico.
Vamos nessa, galera. Olha só. Segue a gente no Instagram, @AmeriCup. Posta sua foto e coloca a hashtag.
Here's the starting 5 for the Canadians. On Henry Blair, Trey Bell-Haynes, Khalif Young, Lloyd Pandy entering the starting lineup, and Alano Banton. Lloyd Pandy earned that starting role with his energy and efficiency from their last outing against Colombia, a comeback win, a win that took pretty much the entire game to accomplish. And they'll be looking for Pandy's energy here to start here in this quarterfinal game. Bonilla, Jaime, Stoll, Iron, and Amigo, the same starting 5 we've seen all tournament long for Mexico. Iron is a person to circle. Likely Pandy would be matched up against him throughout this game. And if you let him get any space on the perimeter, he can knock it down from deep, shooting 50% in the tournament. Keys to the game, Javon, let's talk about it for the Canadians up first. What do they need to establish here in the quarterfinals?
They have to establish that they're the aggressor right from the gate, right? And secondary, like I mentioned earlier, not allowing Amigo to get down low and get to his spots and get over his left shoulder, get over his right shoulder. Guards have to dig down. Bigs got to body him up and force him out. And then from the offensive side, guys got to make shots, right? This team has only shot 27% from the 3, 25% from the 3, excuse me. And they have a threat. You know, they have some inside presence, and they have a guy by the name of Alano Banton that can really get you transition, can really get a ball screen action and get downhill. Now, if guys are able to make shots early on, guess what? That's going to open up lanes for him. That's going to allow, force the defense to play a bit more honest. So there's more pressure on those auxiliary pieces to allow him and Trey Bell-Haynes to get to the paint and finish around the rim, but then wreak havoc and toss the ball, kick the ball out and make some plays.
Nathaniel Mitchell with a 2-1 record here in Brazil. They lost to Brazil in their opening game, defeated Colombia and Uruguay to get here to the quarterfinals. On the other end, Mexico, what do they need to establish here in this?
The running game, right? I think if they're able to get the ball and get up the court quick and get some easy baskets there, that'll be great for them because they may be the better half-court team right now. The fact that they have the presence down low that can make some plays, and then you have a guy by Paul Stoll who's been incredible getting into the paint and making passes and getting guys involved, just under 8 assists on the tournament. So they have a number of guys that are able to knock it down. And I like the fact that they play so active off of the ball, right? A guy like Bonilla, gets out, uses his length. We've seen him a couple times, work the baseline, get a couple dunks, and get out to transition. So if they're able to establish their running game early, I think they're in a position where they can trust their half-court offense as well.
Dario Bonilla, 19 years of age, youngest player on the team for Mexico. He's going to be number 2 in the white. Off we go. Quarterfinals here at the AmeriCup. Thanks for joining us wherever you are, however you're doing so. Carla Gay alongside Javon Shepard. Join us in conversation on social media with the hashtag AmeriCup. Canada with the first possession. They'll be going from right to left on your screen, of course, in the red jerseys. It is Henry Blair for 3. Can't get it to go, and Pandy already making his presence known, getting the start, Javon, for the first time here in this tournament.
For reasons like that, right? Laying the wood early, active, getting on offensive rebounds, and he's a guy that's going to get up and defend. You can just see him here, going to press up on Stoll 94 feet, and Stoll's the key for this team in terms of just getting their offense in order and in check. But you can just see that first play call by Coach Nathaniel Mitchell, getting it in the post, and like we mentioned earlier, getting Javon Blair a shot early from 3, trying to get those guys going from the perimeter.
Pandy's not going to be out there for his scoring, but he's going to annoy Stoll. Looks like that's what the matchup is. This is Stoll for 3. Rattles it home.
That's what you can't do. Stoll a good job there of just Pandy turned his back and just relocated, got himself an open shot. Can't get lost. Pandy, you're out there to play some defense.
That's a good sign for Stoll. He's shooting 17% in the first 3 games from three-point range. Starts off with a bucket. Down low, Khalifa Young got blocked by the rim on that layup attempt. Canada 0 for 2 on their first 2 possessions. But look at Pandy. Right to the basket, Lloyd Pandy arriving here in Brazil.
And that's why he's inserted into that starting lineup, right? Get a turnover there, get himself an easy transition bucket, set the tone, set some energy.
It's Stoll using the body there, can't get it to go. Amigo tapped it to himself, put it on the deck, and loses control. Henry Blair will push the other way. Pandy attacking once again. Can't get it to go. Offensive board there for Young. Henry Blair thought about it. Banton doesn't think, lets it go and drops it.
And you can already tell the refs are going to let these guys play, right? You see the ball loose down low. Guys are getting in there and fighting. Right away, you know this is going to be a game. The winner's got to be the grittier, tougher team, and that's all this is going to come down to.
Another steal by Canada. This is Banton in the open floor. He lost control of the basketball. It'll go the other way.
And he knew it, right? Lost the ball there, but you could already see he was gathering up to initiate that contact and get himself to the rim there. But great transition right there and a great intention. That's what you want from Canada. Stop, manufacture some offense from that defense.
Well, the first couple of games of this tournament, we saw teams really struggle to get into their offense early. There was a ton of turnovers. Looks like that's sort of carrying on here into the win-and-go-home phase of this AmeriCup. Amigo, his first touch on the block is a jump hook. Good defense there by Young with the contest. Bell Haynes pushes. Banton. That's going to be an offensive foul.
Banton doesn't even know the call. At this point, he's going to the free throw line.
Coach Mitchell hoping that that was a blocking call, but Amigo with good position that time. Taking one right on the numbers. It's the first foul for Banton. Alana Banton, who most would like to see a consistent jump shot from him to really reach his potential. Shot in the low 30s from deep in this tournament. It's been a theme for the Canadians. They haven't really been able to find the range from deep. That's a good feed inside. He's on finding Jaime's, and you highlighted him to start. He gets a layup inside.
And that's why, right? He's so active, shoots the ball well, but it's because he's so active off of the ball, gets into those gaps and just reads the defense. As soon as they turn their back, like you see there, he's putting himself into position to score the ball.
Banton, now Pandy. Pandy putting it on the deck. Looking for help, finds Bell Haynes. It's gonna be 3 to shoot for Banton from 3, left it way short. And we'll go the other way. That whistle allows Canada to make some subs here as Padre Gray, number 5 in red, joins the lineup on the floor, and Thomas Kennedy, who had been starting, was replacing the starting lineup by Lloyd Pandy, now in the game to bang a little bit with Amigo. You see him on the rock right now. Stoll. Watched by Gray. Feed inside, Amigo right to the rim. And that's what Stoll can give you.
Great pass, and Amigo, short roll there, a good catch, and good footwork to make the finish right in the center of the key.
Makes things easy for his bigs, doesn't he, Stoll? Such a veteran-heady point guard. That pass too far ahead of Kennedy to catch. It looked like he was caught quicksand there as he tried to roll. 2-point game, Mexico in front. They go inside, this time to Jaime's. Bonilla, a pass behind him. It's going to stay here, 9 to shoot for Mexico.
And you're right, you talked about Stoll earlier there. Just the experience that he comes with, right, the knowledge, and he's out there. You wouldn't know that he's, 37 years old with the way he plays with such energy and the tempo and the pace, but, smart, unselfish, and for him, small school guy, he comes up against, plays up against a lot of these guys. And I spoke to him after the USA game, and he said he just loves to compete. His body feels great, really takes care of it, and when he has the opportunity to size up against all these guys, he accepts that challenge.
Say small school guy, went to Texas Rio Grande Valley after spending some time in community college. Bonilla's 3 falls as the shot clock was expiring.
And it's so loud in here. You can see Coach Nathaniel Mitchell over there, you know, looking at the refs, saying that was a shot clock. You couldn't really tell because so loud, everybody just fell asleep.
Abu Kigab into the game now for the Canadians. Gray pulls up over Amigo. That's a tough look.
That's tough. Just gets to a spot off of 2 dribbles and elevates right into the face of Amigo.
As Jaime is inside, that's going to be an offensive foul.
And this is similar energy from Cadre Gray, right? Hits a tough shot earlier, but then comes back down and puts himself in a position to draw a charge there. And that's what he's been able to bring for the squad. Didn't play the first game of the tournament, but since then has been like that energizer, been that got to come off the bench and just invigorate his team.
Trey Belhanes on the rock. Here's the aforementioned Gray handing it right back to Belhanes. Bab Harrison for 2. Way off. Not going to be shy about taking the next one, though. Bab Harrison, a terrific 3-point shooter. Commits the foul there. A Stoll, just veteran savvy that time.
Get him on the hip, get him on the backside there. Just knows his momentum's taking him forward. Kind of looks at him like, that's one. What are you doing, young fella?
Mexico is yet to go to their bench here as we have 4:37 to play in the first period. He's on from 3. No good. Kennedy with the rebound. Belhanes uses the Kennedy screen. He'll tee up the triple. It left him some space, but couldn't knock it down. Stoll looking for someone to cut. Finds Bonilla. That's a good pass inside to Jaime. Put it on the ground and probably should have gave it to Amigo first, but Amigo still able to put it down.
And a little miscommunication by Trey Belhanes and Bab Harrison there that really led to that play.
Kennedy tracks down the ball and slaps it in frustration. Wanted it on the initial touch. Now he'll go to work on the post. Gray for 3, no good. And Bonilla vacuums it in. Coach Mitchell not afraid to go to his bench. He's bringing Henry Blair and Banton back into the game at the next whistle.
Well, he's had production, right? 24 points off of the bench this tournament here, so he has some depth there to use and get him to it early.
Amigo with another floater in the paint.
So tough when you have a big that can get in the paint there, make decisions, and in Amigo's case, has that touch to just drop down nice, cute floaters.
6 points here. I was going to say this evening, but it's the morning time.
It's the morning, but the pace feels like it's a primetime game.
It is definitely a primetime game. Win or go home. Here in the quarterfinals, Amigo picks up his first foul. Belhanes leaves the game. Bab Harrison as well. 3:07 to play in the period. Kalu will also check into the game. This is the first time he's on the floor. Coach Mitchell going deep into his bench. Only Chad Posthumous has not played in this first quarter. It's going to be 14 to shoot for Canada as they inbound here. And Banton. Henry Blair on the turn. Dribbled it off his leg, and he'll go the other way. See the turnovers now starting to mount up for both teams. Bonilla gets fouled by Gray.
And Gray there just anticipating that pass. They're jumping out and a little bit out of control. Canada was in that 2-3 zone.
Now Bonilla puts it on the deck, right to the basket. Can't get the layup. Banton in the open floor. Kennedy helps him with the pickup. It's Gray for 3. Way off. Didn't touch the rim, so the shot clock still going down. Henry Blair back to Gray. He'll penetrate this time on Stoll, take the body and laid it up.
And that's where Cadre Gray is so good, right? Getting to the basket, will take contact and finish through the contact. but he's not afraid to mix it up when it comes to scoring. That kid loves to score.
Another floater for Amigo. This time he left it way short. And Gray with his head up in the front court. Finds Henry Blair, steps into a three. Canada once again struggling from deep here to start the game. It's been a recurring theme here in Brazil. They are now 1 of 7 from deep. Stole for three, indeed. Leads to a timeout for the Canadians. Back in front are the Mexicans. They lead by 8 with 1:50 to play in the first. Well, Daniel Amigo has gone to work here in this first period. 6 points and counting, 3 of 5 field. It's a lot of floaters in the paint.
And that's the dangerous part, right? Amigo, he's getting himself going. And you see here 6 points, shooting a good percentage, but it hasn't been off of plays where Mexico's dumped it in the post and said, go ahead, work, right? But right now, you know, these broken plays, these catches in the pocket, in the short rolls, he's just making those floaters, making those baskets there, and that allows his confidence to get going, right? So if you're Canada, got to get on those loose balls, got to get it in that short roll and make it difficult for him, because once you get going, now you give Mexico the opportunity to dump it in the post, and he's feeling good about himself. You know he can already go over the right shoulder, he can go over the left shoulder and finish. Don't allow him to get that rhythm. Got to beat him up a bit, be physical with him. And secondary, you know, make him work on the defensive end as well. Like test him a bit in pick and roll situations. Guards get at it, go at his chest. And Biggs, if you get in the post, you know, there's nothing wrong to just bump him a bit and see what type of effort he's going to exert on the defensive side.
Fixing the clock here, the scoreboard is needing a little bit of a reset as it's gone blank here in the arena. That's the reason for the delay. We're talking about Daniel Amigo, 6'10", 245 pounds, El Paso, Texas native. Went to Denver College for 4 years, played in Hungary, had a solid season in Lithuania, Poland, Puerto Rico. His last season, though, was spent in Mexico with Libertadores, averaging 7.6 rebounds, shooting 44% from the field. It's an adventure when he goes to the foul line, though. A 44% free throw shooter.
You did say you like his form, though.
The form is interesting. We haven't seen it yet, but we will at some point in this game. We might have to take cover if he puts one up from the foul line. Canada with 3 to shoot now. Henry Blair knocks it down. Almost a sigh of relief from everyone in the red jersey as that one splashed through.
That's a dangerous thing with this Canadian team as well. They haven't shot the ball well, but we even seen it on their opening loss to Brazil that they've been their own, you know, their own biggest demise in a sense in terms of shooting the ball. Like they knocked down some shots. They're a completely different team.
Right now they're having trouble with Amigo. Another layup for him. Give him 8. Banton. Young with the good post catch. Gonna have to put it up quickly. Spending a lot of time in the lane. Got away with the 3-second call and banked it off the glass.
You can see Amigo there. They had to play some defense. He's walking up the court now. Just wear him up. Get him fatigued.
There's a chance there for A 2-for-1 possession for Mexico. They didn't have any interest in taking it. They'll get a layup opportunity instead. Amigo on the offensive glass. The foul is going to be on the floor. Looks like it's going to be on Young.
Great ball movement by Mexico there, and Amigo trailing the play. You just see him there, eyes, and a great job there just catching the ball. And what I like is catching the ball and keeping it above his rim. I mean, you learned that in grade school basketball, but you see a pro come out and do that as well.
Foul was actually on Kalu, so it's his first. Bonilla will tee up the three. Can't get it to go, and Gray, with the shot clock turned off, will give Canada an opportunity for the final look here in the first quarter. It's Banton on the defensive high mace. The kick, Kalu for three. Indeed! Well, 2 3-pointers to close the quarter from the Canadians. First from Henry Blair. Kalu to close the first 10 minutes of play brings Canada within 2. 19-17 your score. First quarter of the quarterfinals in the books. There are the stats from the first period of play. And on its way are the best plays, sights and sounds, and so much more from Canada, Mexico. A reminder, you can scan the QR code on your screen right now. Download the Courtside 1891 app for streams, schedules, scores, and so much more from the AmeriCup here in Brazil. We got Eurobasket happening in Europe and the upcoming FIBA Women's World Cup, which I'm excited for. Teams roster starting to be announced for that event. Saw Japan's roster, Japanese team that likes to get up and down the floor, shoot threes. They have more bigs than guards than they do this time around. So it'll be interesting to see how they fare over in Australia in the FIBA Women's World Cup. After one, we have Mexico in front by 2 on Canada. We saw Lloyd Pandy jump into the starting lineup for the Canadians, Javon, and I always find it interesting to find out when a guy like that who brings energy, earns a starting role, who steps up to come off the bench. We haven't really figured that out yet in the first 10 minutes for the Canadians.
We haven't, but I think you know one thing, right? Lloyd Pandy's inserted into that lineup for one thing, it's defense and it's energy. And he's come out here and done that. And if you're coming off of the bench, that standard is already set, right? So you know you're coming in, you have to bring that level and more. The second part to that is you have the luxury now of seeing the game and watching how to play the tempo of the game and watching what your opponent is doing and what can and can't work, right? So you're in a better position to come out and contribute and help your team.
On the other end, Mexico has not gone to their bench yet. The starter's still in the game here to start the second period as Bonilla with the flat-footed rebound off the miss from Henry Blair. Stoll gets his side cleared. Amigo rolls into it. Double comes, skip pass. Ricochet falls to hit it on for 3. It's the front of the rim. Belhane's weaving through traffic. Right to the cup. No one stopped the basketball, and Belhane's ties the game up.
And that's right there. If you're Mexico, you can't have that happen, right? Ball's in transition. The most important thing is that player with the ball. Somebody's got to stop Trey Belhane's there and not allow him a straight line path to the basket.
Bonilla working on a defense of Young. Tried to find the cutting Jaimes, and another turnover here as Canada looking to run. Kalu from the gorgeous feed of Banton leads to a timeout for Mexico. You heard Coach Mitchell in the last huddle say, in the open floor, get a layup. Canadians do it on back-to-back possessions. Mexico want to talk about it.
Get a layup, right? Get down to the basket, get some easy shots, see the ball going through the hoop. Right there again, Delano, he's just so long. He's always in good defensive positioning there. He actually got beat back door by Jaimes, but because he was able to recover so fast with one stride and long arms, now you give yourself a chance. You get out, you run, and more importantly, get to the basket, get to the basket, push it down the throats of Mexico. If nobody's stepping up, you've seen that transition by Traybell Haynes. That's one bucket. Get it transition again. Nobody wants to stop the ball. Nobody's matching up. The transition defense isn't great. Then continue milking that, right? Don't let them off the hook and settle for threes.
Spending time here in Recife, I know you've been working on your Portuguese. I want to know how your Spanish is doing.
Listen, they're speaking the language of basketball, so that's universal. That's universal. It's funny, as a player, I remember, you train in a lot of these guys. They go from country to country year after year, and naturally, you may not be able to speak the language, but you can understand it. And people laugh when I say that, but it's a universal language. It starts with, the plays. It starts with just screens and basketball lingo, but then it expands to, chicken and the meals when you go to restaurants, because it's survival mode, and then slowly you're fluent.
How many languages can you order a pizza in now? I'm sure it's double figures. Migron was fouled as he was trying to post up. Coach Quintero looking on. They got the upset win on the U.S. in the first game, and it felt like Mexico was setting up for sort of a Cinderella run here. Then they stubbed their toe against Venezuela. Opened the door for this matchup. The 4-5 seed as Jaimes floats it in. Blair waiting for the Young screen. Bell Haynes. Kalu has 1-3. Can't make the other. Gutierrez subbing into the game for the first time, replacing Amigo. 25 in white. He's surrounded by the remaining 4 starters for Mexico. Banton rejected inside by Bonilla. Well, if there's one player I've been impressed with on this Mexican team, it is Yair Bonilla. 19 years of age, playing pro for Barcelona. Started off in their 3rd division in Spain. He's working his way up slowly to that top division, but he has shown out well here in Brazil.
He's one of those guys where just you can see it there, the pursuit on that, to chase down the block. And nice roll, nice extension. The big fella getting cute down low. I like it. But you mentioned, right, Bonilla being one of the young guys in this tournament that's really stuck out. And, it helps. In this tournament, you want to win, you want to compete. But there's a number of scouts here, and then you look behind us and you see a guy like, Raptors coach Nick Nurse. And that's added incentive, right? These young guys want to play well. Everybody wants to showcase well because you don't know what can come of this, right? There's somebody always watching. There's GMs. There's, are you a winner? And how can you help a team? How can you help any team?
Henry Blair now being hounded by Jaimes. Threw it away. And Stoll will look to push. Stoll, Gutierrez. Jaimes. This is a good ball movement from Mexico, leading to open 3 for Stoll.
And That's when you're unselfish, right? Stoll starts that play, initiates the offense, and like you mentioned, great ball movement. It ends up right back in his hands. No defender there. Clean shot for him.
There's 3 3-pointers in this game, as I said in the first. He was shooting 17% from deep coming into this one, so maybe he was due. Banton, deep 3. It's not the possession that Canada wanted at all. And Stoll now in the front court. Stoll, no-look pass, Iran. Can't get it to go. Gutierrez tapped it up, and it falls to Henry Blair. And the foul in the backcourt by Iran, and he was probably more tired than anything as he heads directly to the bench. Diallo will check into the game for Iran, 24 in white. Lloyd Pandy back into the game for Canada, as is Gray and Kennedy. Kigab joins him as well. And Trey Bell-Haynes will trigger this inbound for the Canadians. Gray shows the up fake, driving baseline. Took some body contact, but couldn't make the layup. Kennedy is Canada a fresh possession. And then stripped, so goes out of bounds. Will stay here with 11 ticks for Canada to shoot. It's Gray on the curl. Kennedy inside. Kigab gets fouled, and he'll go to the line. 2 free throws.
Good job there, and you watch him over the course of this tournament. It's not gonna be pretty. It's not gonna be the cutest game, but he's gonna go out there and he goes hard, he goes tough. And if you're an opponent, you see him checking in, you know it's gonna be, a long 4 or 5 minute stretch, because he throws his body out there. His limbs are all over the place. He's gonna get an elbow. He's gonna elbow somebody in the chin. He wears you down that way.
If you're a longtime Canadian basketball supporter, you've known the name Abdul Kigab for a little while, but he really broke out at the Basketball Without Borders camp in 2016. The All-Star game was in Toronto. Spent 2 years at Oregon, then goes on to Boise State. Most remember him being a part of the U19 national team that won gold for the first time at the Worlds. He was a big part of that team, sort of as a secondary scorer behind R.J. Barrett, of course. Now more of an energy guy, using his length and size defense, finding another role.
And you mentioned R.J. Barrett for Canada, a guy that just gone on to have a lot of success at NBA level. His first 3 years there, signed a big deal lucrative deal with New York Knicks. So congratulations to him. And Canada basketball on a whole for their investment in their players and helping them continue to develop. I'm sure General Manager Rowan Barrett is extremely excited for the success of this team, but the individual success these guys are having.
Kigab right around the rim, able to get it to fall. Canada 2-point lead. I say he's an energy guy now. Doesn't mean he can't score.
Right. See, again, I'm letting you throw yourself under the bus.
Still on the drive. That pass a little bit too cute for Gutierrez to handle. Here is Gray attacking the rim. Exactly what Coach Mitchell wanted. Settle for threes, get to the bucket. It's paying off for the Canadians.
And he's a gamer. He's a gamer. You see him in the tap mode there, and like I mentioned earlier, just dipping his shoulder into the defense, and he's gonna finish. If there's an opportunity to score, he's gonna attack it.
Stoll jacks up a triple, no good. Gutierrez on the ricochet.
Great job by Gutierrez there, just in pursuit there, seeing the shot go up and putting himself in a position to rebound. If you're Canada, you got to get your hands up on that close-out defensive possession.
Bell-Haynes went to the ground and Stoll tripped him. Stoll upset at the call. That's his second foul. Amigo will check back into the game for Gutierrez. You see Stoll still trying to make his case. Delano Banton back into the game for Canada. Khalif Young on the floor as well. Banton will trigger this inbound. It's great. Gray working on Stoll. Dancing, got over top of him, and Stoll has hands caught in the cookie jar there. It's the third foul. That is a smart, heady play by Cadre Gray. Understanding the situation. Stoll already frustrated. He was bound to take a frustration foul, and Gray really kind of baited him to that one.
Gray added the cookie jar there, and Cadre knew, allowed him to sleep a bit with his dribble, and then got to a spot there and just rose up, gets himself to the free throw line. And that's what I say, guys that are really good scorers have a knack for getting themselves to the free throw line. They read their defense, they feel their defense, and know when to attack, know when to pull back. And, Cadre, a young pro, I think he's extremely good at that, right? Just has that ability innately. And you've seen it there against the more veteran and savvy Stoll.
One of the many players on this team with CBL ties, Canadian Elite Basketball League. As you mentioned, Gray, a young pro, played for your team, the Ottawa Blackjacks, to start his career.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did, and came back this year and had a tremendous season. You mentioned the CEBL League, and every one of these players outside for Canada, outside of Delano Banton, has CEBL experience, right? So domestic league there has grown tremendously, and a lot of big-time players have come through, and the league just continues to grow. It's a great competition.
It's Amigo on the perimeter. Jaimes was pushed by Gray. It's only the second team foul for Canada here with 2:28 remaining in the half. Back into the game, number 0 red for Canada. Bonilla also into the game for Mexico. It'll be Bonilla on defensive Banton. Killed his dribble in an awkward area and had to give it up. Willis, first time we see him for Mexico. Amigo, that's an awkward shot. Almost fell. Jaimes on the offensive rebound twice, can't get it to go. Hiron finds some space, count it, and the foul.
You're on there, right? Just the fight, the will, right? Canada did a good job defensively, staying grounded, but Huron is coming up with the offensive rebounds. You see the passion. He understands, right? Every possession counts. Every loose ball counts. Every rebound counts, especially when you're in this type of environment, this type of game where that could be the deciding factor. Got to get onto it, get on the ball, and it's not always going to be about the scheme, tactics, X's and O's. It's who wants it more. Each possession. Have to play each one like it's the last.
Played in the AmeriCup in 2017 where Mexico won bronze, a tournament that you were a part of. You remember guarding him at all? You remember guarding Hiron at all?
You know what? I remember he put on a little weight. Let's just say that. He put on a couple pounds. He was a little smaller back then.
Haven't we all?
But no, he was an active player, and that I do remember is that he was always active, younger at the time, so he came in and was there to do some dirty work, greasing panty, attacking the basket here and getting some fouls. But his responsibility was to come out and make things difficult for the future players on the team. Now he has a bit more luxury. He has the luxury of taking some shots and has a bit more responsibility.
He was fouled, and he'll go to the line for 2 shots. Mexico in the penalty the rest of the way here in the half. Give Pandy 3 points and counting. There might not be an award out there at the U Sport level that this man does not have in his trophy room. Just did an incredible job at the University of Carleton in Ottawa, the capital of Canada. And now as a pro, or getting closer to being a pro, makes some team very happy with his production, whether you put him in a role to score, defend, doesn't really matter. He's a Swiss Army knife.
Every team needs a player like that, right? You see him here just guarding down on the post and you're wrong. And does a bit of everything, right? It doesn't need the ball, doesn't demand the ball, but goes out there and has impact. It's funny that you mentioned Huron before, because I remember in 2015, that was, and those guys are matched up now, that was the role he had, right? Huron had, is to come out and be the energizer, be the defender. And now you see Pandy out there just getting his professional career started and getting out here mixing up with Canada.
Huron tried to bank it in, couldn't get it to go. Bonilla on the offensive rebound. Derriere Bonilla makes it look easy.
How skilled was that? Comes up with the offensive rebound, spins away from the defense, and then the right foot, right hand through traffic. All at 19. When I was 19, I was barely getting a 2-foot jump step.
Special player. Getting groomed well. Deep three on the way. It's not going to count as Bell Haynes laid out Willis. Start of the NFL season today. Bell Haynes may be auditioning for a spot.
Well, he has the shoulders for it. He has the shoulders. You can see him there. Probably some inadvertent contact, but running through and just got those broad shoulders right into his chest.
Deceivingly big. When you see him on the screen, you don't realize how big he is until you really stand next to him. Probably say that about a lot of these guys. High Mace, watched by Bell Haynes. Pandy all over Willis. Pandy forcing Willis into a tough one. And Willis couldn't get the roll as Banton gobbles up the board. And a 5-second difference between shot and game. Coach Mitchell wanting Canada to slow down and run a set. They rise here in Recife. Wanted to get into their motion and took a little too long, leading to a shot clock violation. Mexico with 5.4 to work with before the half to try and take the lead into the break. We'll take the timeout and we'll listen into their huddle here in Brazil. Paul Stoll came in struggling from three-point range. You see him heating it up from deep in this one. He did pick up the 3 fouls here in the first half. That will see him on the bench, but he's contributed 9 points for Mexico. 5.4 remaining in the half. Mexico will inbound in the backcourt. No fouls again for Canada. It's Jaimes. Bonilla puts it on the deck. Bell Haynes tried to draw the charge. And that's how we'll end the first half. First quarterfinal game of the day. Canada and Mexico in a battle here at the AmeriCup. Stats from the first 20 minutes of play. Canada again struggling from three-point range. And really, if it wasn't for Stoll, Mexico would be struggling as well. Stats almost identical across the board. And here are the top scorers. Gray, 7 off the bench for Canada. Stoll, those 3 three-pointers up to 9. You want the best highlights from the first half? We got them for you. Enjoy the sights and sounds from the first 20 minutes of play. And we'll be back for second half action as Canada and Mexico tied up at 30. See you in a bit. Offensive rebound goes awry and toward the other way. Look at this aggressiveness, as you said, and he attacks the left and puts it in.
Again, you see the attack here, right to left, and boom, knocks the defense off with that shoulder, not afraid of contact.
And Nesbitt will corral and start the first possession for the Virgin Islands. Aska, hard dribble, blocked by Condon.
There he is, right? Immediate impact.
All in play now. Cheatman above everybody.
You know what? That only matters when you got natural springs, because time off doesn't matter. You just get above the rim.
Time too early on. La Pruvitola. Perez all over him. La Pruvitola spinning in the lane. That's a tough shot.
Some guys just know how to get a bucket. That's a professional score right there. There's nothing you can do about it.
We've got the road working on the defense. Zimmerman, the behind the back look to Canio.
A little spice on that.
It's the first time we've seen that from him. Paso fending off the lease. Fires it inside to Deck. And he lays it in. Largest lead of the game for Argentina right now. Deck with 21 leads to a timeout. Hacking the floater. No. Oh! Romero on the cleanup. Oh, what a night for that man. Still a chance to tie for VI. Waters pushes to Condon. Reyes attacking. Oh! Rejected by Christmas. Colome spinning. Delgado! With the facial.
Colome here gets it to Vic here to spin. He was a little out of control, but still had enough. You see here to drop it down, to spin. Knows what Delgado is, and Delgado just jumping above.
Nesbitt. Great job by Mojica, not losing to the screen. Oh, hello! Henson with the facial. Wow. back in Brazil for the FIBA AmeriCup 2022. Reminder, you can scan the QR code, courtside 1891. You're home for the streams, schedules, scores, highlights, and so much more here in Brazil. Well, a good first 20 minutes of play between Canada and Mexico. We're tied at 30. The winner guarantees himself a chance to play for a medal here in the AmeriCup. We'll start with Canada first. Your assessment of their first half play.
I thought they did a good job of getting out and running. I thought that has to be an emphasis for them, right? 15 points from the bench. Guys came out, contributed there, and it gives them that stability that they need, right? That no drop-off that's going to be key against this Mexico team. And for Mexico, you know, I think Paul Stoll getting in foul trouble early is going to be important, right? He's going to be a bit apprehensive and not want to pick up that fourth early, so Canada's got to maximize that.
Pandy drills a three to start the second half. He's now up to 6 points. Bonilla right to the basket, blocked inside by Young.
Bonilla there, you can tell him getting into the paint. He didn't know if he wanted to finish, if he wanted to make a pass, and got caught a bit indecisive there. Young comes up with the block.
Good restole. Bonilla just got back in bounds and then fed Jaimes for two.
You could just see there, jumped on his toes, on tippy toes there, and good touch pass.
Jaimes with 6 points. Shooting 43% from the field. Bell Haynes tried to feed it to Young. Too many bodies inside for that pass to go through. Here's Stoll. Amigo puts it on the bounce now. Amigo with the right hand. Shot doesn't look pretty, but it's effective. He's in double figures.
I know, it's so unorthodox. You don't even know which hand it is. If it's left or right, gets there, hooks it. But, and I mentioned it time and time again over, you know, the Mexican games, is when he gets into the post and extends, so tough to get a hand on because he extends so far, the extension out there, and he can just finish. Good touch with it.
It's a bad pass by Delano Banton, went right to Amigo, and Amigo looking to post up now. Banton doing a good job of fronting him. Amigo got it, but blocked by Henry Blair. Bell Haynes to the corner. This is Banton. Henry Blair attacks on Bonilla, the floater. Can't get it to go, follows his own, forces it up, got that
one to go. He's relentless, right? He puts it up, gets right back to it, and just says, I'm gonna force the issue and make sure I get a shot off.
Stoll with a cute little pass, but went through both his teammates. Now Jaime's on Pandy, spins the other way. Good help defense there by Young to make that a very difficult look. Bell Haynes right to the bucket. Was challenged by Bonilla, but what about the hustle from Khalif Young to keep possession for the Canadians?
Great hustle, and that's great. Two defensive possessions that we've seen earlier with, you know, Banton fronting the post. Here you can see the penetration. Blair gets his own rebound, the first off the floor, and you can just see it over Amigo, just fighting. Just getting it off the glass. But two great defensive possessions I can mention. The help side with Banton fronting and weak side coming over, and then again, you know, just being in position to get a stop and get out.
Banton using the Young screen, rejects it. Finds a wide open Henry Blair who knocks it down from deep, and he's fired up.
He's turned up, he's ready to go. Let's get it.
8 points for Henry Blair. Canada leads by 4. Whistle blew, you can hardly hear it. Henry Blair will pick up the foul.
It's funny how you hit a couple shots and then now the defense gets better, right? The individual efforts and energy, you know, pick up.
This is Stoll. Strong screen there by Amigo. Rolls hard to the basket. Stoll found the perfect angle, the only angle that was going to get that pass through.
Great pass with his left hand as well, just zips it through there, gets the ball on time, on target. And Amigo just making a great play. Again, catching it in that mid-post area and just the awareness and the skill to finish through the traffic.
That's into Kennedy. Pandy will try again from the same spot from 3. Can't get that one to fall. Bonilla in the open floor. Go inside, Amigo. Banton, bang with the 6'10", 240-pound big man as Bonilla is left alone from deep. If he could shoot that consistently, maybe he does have a chance to one day show up in the NBA.
I think that's a piece, you're right. If he is able to add that to his game, he's a tough cookie, right? Defense, length, slashes, only shoot 20% in this tournament from 3, but again, you can see there with the ability, the ball goes in the post. If he's open, if he can knock that down, opens up your offense.
Stoll left it for Bonilla on a silver platter, and he pounds it home.
And then right on cue, showing us the athleticism there, right? Stoll getting to the paint and just trailing the play on the baseline there, just gets up above the rim.
Stoll on 5 assists now on the night. Henry Blair, that's a tough layup. Give Henry Blair now 10. Bonilla wants it. Said they go to Jaimes. Jaimes, that's a good move, using the window. Stoll with the pickpocket. He'll tee up the 3 in front of Banton. In and out, and a late whistle, and they're gonna call it on Stoll. He can't believe it.
That's gonna hurt, right? That's his 5th now, and getting a sub, and Stoll's waving to the bench, let him play, but that's 4.
One more from being disqualified from this game. Has to be careful arguing with the officials. The discussion is still going on. That's why we haven't inbound the ball yet. He's finally back on the bench. He was throwing towels over there out of your camera view. As we rejoin here, that is a huge moment in this game. The offense was looking to start to click for Mexico. Their leader now hits the bench. Kennedy, good up fake, and throws it down. Mexicans are doing a lot of complaining to the officials right now. They're teetering on a tech. This would be a bad time. Well, never a good time to take a tech, but this would be a bad time to take one here in this 3rd period. It's Amigo. No look pass, throws it out to Willis. Now he's on. Tough drive. The size that you talked about him putting on since the last time you saw him.
Just a tad bit, couple kilos.
Helped him out there, and Kigab gets called for the offensive foul in the backcourt. He's trying to create some space for Gray. It's the 2nd foul for Kigab.
Tough screen there because Gray's in motion and moving, doesn't really give Kigab a chance to set the screen, right? And that's where he draws the foul. This is the first time we're going to see Bandu checking into the game.
That pass by Bonilla, and it leads to a break for Kennedy. How about Thomas Kennedy showing you a little versatility, getting out in the open floor, and earns a trip to the line. Very young Canadian team, the average age just under 25, and Thomas Kennedy, one of the youngsters, the younger guys on this team, at age 22. Another one that is benefiting from time in the CBL.
Come out there and won the University Player of the Year this year, and you can just see why, right? He comes out and you look at his body, you look at his frame. He doesn't look like a university student right now. He looks like a grown man.
Got big in front of Amigo and forced him to pass it out. Bonilla for three. No good, and Gray skying for the rebound. Now on the push. Opens up for Bell Haynes. Got away with steps there as Bandu on the baseline, doubled up, and he traveled. Well, Bell Haynes got away with steps. Bandu does not.
So this is going to be a tough, it's a tough position for Bandu to be in, and you got to see how tough you are mentally. He sat, the first 2 quarters after playing in each of their previous games. You got to come out here and not try and force the issue, but come out and let the game come to you, right? And that's tough as a player because you're already thinking, I got to do more. I got to do more. Well, no, let the game come to you. You're out there, one of the guys that can knock down shots. That's going to be a big part of what your expectation is. Knock down shots, come out and defend, and let everything else come to you.
Coach Mitchell was barking at him to put some ball pressure on there. As Bandu was backing off. Bandu will sit now for Henry Blair. As a player, were you ever in that position where you kind of sat for a bit, had to enter a game, a quarterfinal game?
Listen, I sat my first couple years with the national team. I was only up there for my 5 fouls. And, there's times where you come into the game and you just have to maximize those minutes. And the more you grow, the more you play and understand what your role is, you build from that.
Oh! Delano Banton above the rim and throws it down.
Cocked it back, too. Got a little flair on it. But you're right, your role is not always going to be out there to score, or you're not guaranteed, 20 minutes plus. It's how do I help this team win? And if you're not doing that, there's a place on the bench for you, and that's just what it is.
Iran with a professional pump fake and finish inside, give Mexico the 2-point lead. Talk about roles all the time with the national team. A lot of people would expect Delano Banton to take over this game at some point, as he did in Canada's last outing against Colombia. Came alive in that 4th period. It looks like he's trying to get a little bit more engaged, calling for the basketball, speaking on defense. As we come towards the end of this 3rd period, 5 assists in this game. Willis, the pass down low to James. That is a tough look to try to get it to Amigo, and Kennedy knocked it out of bounds. 5 to shoot for Mexico as a inbound here. But before that, we'll have a timeout. Well, the game's still tied. 47 all, 2 minutes to play in the 3rd period. It's the FIBA AmeriCup quarterfinal action. Winner go home. Another look at this Delano Banton finish. Anytime you see the Dreads shaking the way they are, you know it was nasty. 5 points, 5 assists for number 45. Absolutely understood the assignment against Colombia. Canada needed someone to step up. And a couple and one baskets late in that 4th quarter put them in a position to make a run and squeeze out a victory to have them in the quarterfinals. Iran right off the inbound bangs a 3.
That's a tough play there, right? You come out of that time out there and inbound, and the shooter's the most dangerous person. The inbounder is the most dangerous person. Just reads the trailer there and gets up into a three.
Banton, pure. Banton with the strip on the other end. Canada looking to run. Banton is calling for it. They throw it up. Banton throws it down. 9 points and counting for Delano Banton. He's arrived here in the third. Iran on the baseline, got bumped by Kigab. It's a blocking foul that will send Iran to the line.
And the right intent, just a split second late. And Banton, like you said, he's turning up right now. He's taking over the game, getting above the rim here. Treva Haynes, a good find, just leads him. You can see him getting above. And you like your minute left in the third quarter, and the best player on your team is starting to step up, right? Statistically, didn't necessarily have numbers that are wowing you in the first three quarters, but his presence now and his impact, you can just see it, and you can just see that confidence growing with him. And guess what? As your leader, the more you play, the more aggressive you are, the more you look engaged. Those other 4 guys on the court start to believe, they start to trust, they start to get that energy and feed off of that energy, as does the bench.
For a guy as young as Banton is, playing on this stage and having a spotlight on him, most expecting them to kind of just come out here and dominate the entire 40 minutes. He's really been able to pick his spots, and you see that maturity and that growth from him. His time obviously with the 905, but now here with the national team.
And that's an elite player, right? It's just understanding when to go, when to pull back, when to trust your team. And I think sometimes when you come out and you see some of these NBA guys on the court, there's unfair expectation, right? And kind of disrespectful to the other guys that are competing against him, because those are pros too. Those are elite level players. And at this level, there's such a thin line between, a back-end NBA guy that's, player 6'2", 10, and some of these guys that are the primary players, the future players on their respective professional clubs and playing on the national team level. So it goes both ways. You still have to respect the other 9 guys on the floor.
Kalu on the floor for Canada. Pulls up for 2, got it. Kalu with 7 points. It's almost like found money for the Canadians if he's going to come off the bench and offer a scoring punch. Banton, good hands. Delano Banton in the open floor to the basket. He's fouled. He'll go to the line for 2.
So tough there. You have Banton and you have Thomas Kent just playing defense with their hands up. Both get a hand on it. Then you talk about the good hands, but talk about the good feet. Banton getting out of transition and sit there, and nobody can really stop him. When he gets those puppies rolling and gets downhill in the open court, that's where he's at his best. And again, now getting himself to the free throw line, you get a breather and an opportunity to set up your defense with just 21 seconds left in the third quarter.
Missing the first free throw, shooting 80% from the line coming into this game. See stat line there on your screen. 9-5, 2 steals. Always kind of makes me laugh on the free throws when the kids who are here in Recife go crazy when that ball goes through, no matter when it happens in the game. I hope you are able to feel how loud it is in this gym, because it is extremely loud. Final possession potentially here for Mexico in this third period. It's Bonilla. Uses Gutierrez screen. It's a good hedge by Young there. Willis, step side 3. Can't get it to go. And that's how we'll end the third quarter. Boy, this is a good back and forth game. Feels like we're going to go down the wire here. 3 quarters. Canada, 54. Mexico, 52. Winner go home at the AmeriCup. Best plays of the 3rd period are all yours. A reminder, you can scan the QR code on your screen right now for the Courtside 1891 app. Your home for streams, schedules, scores, and so much more here from the AmeriCup in Brazil. Well, Delano Banton has come alive here in this game. 10 points, 5 assists, a couple monster highlight reel dunks. It's given Canada the 2-point advantage. As we start the 4th quarter, Mexico will have possession. On the floor for the Canadians, it'll be Henry Blair, Pandy, Banton, Kennedy, and Kigab. For Mexico, Bonilla, Gutierrez, Jaimes, Willis, Giron. Here's your 5. This is Bonilla. Driving inside, tough move, count it, and the foul.
Caught Banton too deep in the paint. They're recovering from too deep, a little out of control, and just off the catch, blows by. Thomas Kennedy not in position to step up and get a stop there, but he'll get himself an and 1 opportunity.
His first foul for Kennedy. Kigab will check into the game. So Canada going small here with Gray, Henry Blair, Banton, Pandy will be surrounding the 1 big Thomas Kennedy. 13 and counting for Yair Bonilla. There's confirmation of the 5 on the floor now as Gray into the game. Henry Blair, step back 3. Way off. It's a tough look over the much bigger Gutierrez. This is Willis, who has had point guard duty with Stoll on the bench for fouls for Mexico. Bonilla fought about it, gave it up to Jaime on the float.
You can see Mexico here now just slowing down and working their half-court offense. Twice now they've caught Canada by surprise, making the right reads, making the extra passes, and getting themselves some easy shots.
This is good ball movement from Team Canada. Great inside. Kennedy's gonna have to put it up. He does. Got the kind touch. It's a really good showing from Thomas Kennedy here this afternoon. 7 points and counting for him. Giron. Palming the basketball in front of Gray. Now goes inside for Jaime. Jaime. Good footwork there, but couldn't get it to go. He's battling for the miss. And finally, Pandy able to stick a fork in it. Chance That's a defense now coming from the Mexican bench. Gutierrez with a body check on Banton. Looks like Gutierrez took the worst of it. Him and Banton now going chest to chest. Seeing a little fire from Delano Banton. Still jawing on Gutierrez. Leaf Young back into the game, replacing Kennedy. He's on the rock. Banton turns the corner. Met by Gutierrez, now looking for help. Gutierrez with a hard foul on Banton. And those two go chest to chest once again. Felt like Gutierrez trying to be the enforcer and get in Banton's head after seeing him explode in that third quarter. And right now, Banton is seemingly taking the bait.
He's got to just stay focused here and just understand like his value to his team versus Gutierrez's value to his team. And Banton still, I get it, right? You're not going to lay down and take no smoke or let anybody just punk you off, but. At this point in the game, just the maturity, right? This is a perfect opportunity to mature and grow and understand. Look, Gutierrez versus Delano for each respective team.
Referees are discussing to see if we need more tacked on to this common foul. We'll listen into the conversation between the refs.
I told you guys he's doing it on purpose.
Sentado, dile que se siente, dile que se siente.
Pero él se puede hablar.
Escúchame, le estoy explicando lo que va a pasar. Y lo que te vengo a decir a ti. Vamos, pitamos una falta primero y luego vamos a revisar, ¿ok? Nada más, me está preguntando que vamos a revisar. Por eso, están viendo ahí.
Dámela en velocidad normal, normal speed.
Una revisión por lo después.
Ese no.
Velocidad normal. Sí. Para mí.
En la cabeza y después en la mano.
Vamos a darle el upgrade a esa jugada. Y quedamos ahí. ¿Está bien?
Una revisión
Okay.
después de lo que se llamó la falta.
Ya.
A ver si hay con
Quedamos con esa nada más. ¿Está bien? Antideportiva.
Well, you heard Delano Banton explaining to the officials on their way to the scores table that
La pelota al lado.
he felt as though Gutierrez was doing it on purpose. Call the normal foul
Reacción después no hay.
on Mexico. You see Gutierrez now trying to encourage the situation. Banton will have 2 free throws with the lane cleared, and Canada should have the rock after this as well. This is the type of basketball you enjoy. You like a little sauce in a game that has
You like a little smoke, a little
win or go home.
a little smoke ain't hurt nobody. A little smoke.
12 points and counting for Banton. He and Gutierrez are still jawing at each other. It's almost like a fight to see who's going to get the last word.
I think we've seen that early in the tournament as well when Tremont Waters and Feliz got after it, Dominican, Puerto Rico, and Tremont got the last laugh there. Never want to poke the bear.
What a pass by Banton, finding the cutting Gray. Give Padre Gray 9 points and counting now. Bonilla rejects the screen, attacks Willis for 3. Gray got a hand on it. Oh, Higueron did not get it off in time, even though he panked it in. No bucket. I want the review, but from the naked eye here courtside, it didn't look like he got it off in time. And a technical foul is going to be called. And if that's on Stoll, that might be it. Stoll and Amigo were waiting to check into the game. A technical foul is called. They did not point at Coach Quintero. Let's see who it is.
That would have been a tough break for Mexico.
Well, Stoll's on the floor right now. They're going to give it a bench technical officially. Banton will go to the line to take the free throws. Mexico dodging one right there. And Stoll sat pretty much the entirety of that third period, now feeling as though the game sort of slipping away from their hands. Coach Quintero bringing Stoll back onto the floor with his 4 fouls. Banton hit another free throw there.
And how is Stoll gonna adapt right now, right? Clearly, the team needs some intensity, and you're gonna need his play. It's gonna be an important play, but is he gonna be tentative? Is he gonna be apprehensive, right? And that's not just on the defensive side, but on the offensive side as well.
Amigo back into the game as well for Mexico, 44 in white. It'll be Banton taking the 3. Left is short. Bodies hit the floor. It's going to be a foul on Young. Young saying he was being grabbed by Higueron. And after every call now, we're seeing the motion for the officials to go and review it.
See Banton checking out of the game now. I imagine he's going to get, a quick breather, maybe a minute, and come back in to close out this thing.
This feels like one of those important possessions offensively for Mexico. They're doing a lot of jawing. A bucket could kind of calm the nerves a little bit. As Bonilla turns the corner. Higueron. Flyby by Kigab and pays the price for it.
Like you mentioned, that's an important possession right there. And they get a big 3, a big shot out of it. 3 on the board. Important play just for momentum, right? And like you mentioned, calming the nerves and trusting and relaxing now. You get to come back, lock in defensively. The goal would be to get a bucket here, you get a stop, and then get back out and get yourself some good offense.
61-60 your score. I know it feels like an overtime game. It says OT on your screen, but if you're just joining us, we're still in the 4th quarter with 6:35 to play. Let's listen into the Canadian huddle.
You handle those 31 cross nose. Okay, so the trade, and the ladder. Okay, going, putting down, going through. 31 cross nose. You're starting here in the left corner. Okay, let's go. Be solid. We're 1 through 4 switch here. 5 stay in coverage. Put in. Hey, we got him. No, the little guys back there. 1 possession. Get it! Get it away with the thing!
The 19-year-old Yair Bonilla has come to play here in this quarterfinal. 13 points, 7 rebounds, 6 assists for the Barcelona man. Wouldn't be able to tell he played in the 3rd division in Spain. As he's here on the grand stage of the AmeriCup. And providing a spark for his country. He's going to guard the ball here now as Canada on the timeout. See what they run. Banton back on the floor. As you said, brief rest for him. Amigo had Banton pick up his dribble. Young. Looking for help now. It's Pandy attacking inside. Banton. Oh, adjusting on the layup. And Higueron underneath his own basket, grabbing on to his leg, but it seems like he's okay. Let's see what happened here on the replay. Ooh. He came down and did a quick ankle. running okay. He just ran past us here courtside.
He knows that 6 minutes left in this game, and they win or go home. He doesn't want to check out of this game. He knows that this is compete time, this is go time, this is winning time.
It's Bonilla turning the corner. Awkward shot, tried to follow his own, can't get it to go. Trey Bell Haynes in the open floor. Finds Henry Blair. Might have been a missed opportunity for a layup there from Trey Bell Haynes. Do not count the shot. The foul on the floor. Henry Blair thinks he's going to the line for an and one, but he's not.
You could see on Trey Bell, you mentioned, missed opportunity. You could also see Stoll in that transition there, just easing up. Doesn't want to get that pick up that fifth foul. And if you're Trey Bell Haynes or any of the guards of Canada, you got to identify that, recognize that, because he's going to play a bit more tentative.
Well, we didn't catch it on camera, but the look on Henry Blair's face when he found out that it was on the ground and not a three-point opportunity was priceless.
Those are the worst. You're already counting 2 points. I would have already added 2 to my stats.
Gonna have to work for it on this possession. Fighting his way inside, thought he got hammered again. Overshot the rim on the layup opportunity there. It's Stoll. Using the Jaime screen. Has the bigger Young on him. They want to go inside to Amigo. They find the angle to do that. Pandy a little too aggressive that time defensively. 13 foul for Canada here in the fourth. Just tripped up Amigo there. Gray coming back into the game for Henry Blair. To find out a lot about both teams here down the stretch. We know who Mexico's rolling with to close the game. Who will be the 5 to close the game for Coach Mitchell and Team Canada. He's on for 3, can't get it to go. And Banton taps the ball to himself to pull down another board. Bell Haynes turns the corner right to the bucket. Leads to a timeout for Mexico.
I like that attack by Trey Bell Haynes, right? Just finally start to attack. I think we see that in the last game against Colombia. Shots start to drop, start to get more comfortable getting the lane and reading, the defenses of the teams in the Americas here. And there you see another one, just slipping through the defense there, gets to the rim and then explodes. And then you mentioned earlier him having a bit more size than he looks like, using those broad shoulders, protecting himself, and finishing at the rim.
Talked about it. It's been Delano Banton coming alive here. The third period and through the fourth. Leading the way for Team Canada here in the quarterfinals. 15 points, 6 assists, 3 boards. It's winning time now, under 5 to play in the game.
He's come alive, right? And after a roughish start, he's come out again. And more importantly, what you like to see for his own development, this is 2 games in a row that he stepped up and said, look, I'm going to take over this game. I'm going to will this team to a victory.
Only Gabriel Deck is scoring more points in the AmeriCup than Delano Banton. Bonilla in the corner. Stole for 3. That's off. And a foul is called on Amigo. Stoll screaming at Amigo as Amigo put his hand up to acknowledge the foul, and everyone's saying, hey, what are you doing? Don't acknowledge that. Clear foul there.
Stoll is trying to tell Amigo, you let the refs figure that out. They already gave me 4 fouls. Let them figure out the other ones.
Amigo, just a nice guy. 4:30 remaining in the game. He's gonna have to put his game face on. It'll be Banton using the young screen. Banton attacking, kicks to Pandy. Pandy in the lane on the float. Lloyd Pandy arriving in the AmeriCup.
Mid-ball screen, penetration, kick out, and Pandy again getting into the teeth of the defense. Strong attack, great floating finish.
Have to believe that folks, scouts, GMs that are watching this AmeriCup, Pandy's just earning a little bit more cheese on his Whopper here in this tournament.
A little extra cheese.
That foul was Canada's 14th foul. No fouls to give either way. Bonilla gave it away. Banton just got over the timeline. Very nonchalant coming up the court. Poked out of his hands by Amigo. Bodies hit the floor. Banton still with it. And Amigo and Young still down on the floor after colliding. As the officials blew the play dead. Oh, banging heads there. Tough. Both of them up on their feet.
On their feet, you gotta just let it stick. You can see Khalif scratching it a bit. Just gotta let it sting, let it run out for a bit.
He's not at it. I mean, Thomas Kennedy was subbing to come into the game. Khalif said no, and Lloyd Pandy will have to check out rather, as Kennedy was already at the table and they brought him back in. So we'll have two bigs on the floor for the first time now for Canada, Kennedy and Young. Hard screen by Young, frees Banton for three. Way off. And Jaime with the rebound, and a foul is called, and that will be the foul to put Canada over the limit. See Banton there was a little upset because he had a really good look off the inbound. 3 fouls now for Gray in the game. Pandy will check back in for Kennedy.
Like that. As a former player, you see the ref communicating with the players and explaining. Like, you always appreciate that as a player when you can actually have some conversation with the referee, just understand what they saw, because sometimes they may have the wrong call. Sometimes 80% of the time they do have the right call, but just understanding their thought process as well helps you as a player.
You still got to go back to the hotel and stay with these same officials. So I don't know if you can give them just 80% that they're right. I want to remind them about that at dinner tonight.
I still got a bone to pick with a couple of them from my years, so we'll go with 80. But that's definitely signs of good refereeing, but as well just great opportunity to educate players as well and learn from that and understand how to play the game, how to play the refs.
Bell Haynes somehow got to the rim after bobbling the basketball and laid it in. 69-61. Canada in front. 3 to play in the game.
And you can just see more of a concerted effort by Canada getting to the rim, and Trey Bell being the catalyst there, just putting that pressure on Mexico.
Blocking foul on Gray. It's going to be his 4th foul. Send Amigo to the foul line, and we teased it early on. The interesting form that Amigo has on the foul shot.
No,
to see it.
Correction, you teased it earlier.
Amigo shooting 53% from the line in this tournament. Knocks down the first. Points and counting for Amigo. Able to score with the clock stopped. Banton Good pass to Pandy for three. Lloyd Pandy again, delivering for the Canadians.
And it's one, at Carleton University, you can just see there, may not be the greatest three-point shooter, but steps up and makes a winning shot.
There's a foul there on Canada. One official has bucket, the other says no shot. This is an important call, and they'll discuss it. Could be a 4-point play opportunity here. They're going to review it. We'll be able to listen in. You saw it quickly there. The foul would have been called on Gray as he grabbed Amigo, who was rolling. Stoll saying he was in the process of shooting again. This is the previous play for Pandy's three, but we'll get the review. Here it is. That's so close. So they won't count the basket. Or they will, rather. The scores table, the official score sheet says that they have counted the shot. Well, it hasn't shown up in the arena here. As Amigo goes to the line, so they have not counted the basket. So Amigo will get 2 free throws here. And Gray picked up his 5th foul in the process, so he's gone.
The importance here is getting some clock off, right, and getting a good shot on the offensive end. Getting the ball in that man hand, Delano's hands. Here you see Amigo picking up another one and putting Khalif at the line, Khalif Young at the line. And that's, Khalif able to come up here with 2 free throws. This is what you want.
Shooting 67% from the foul line here in the tournament. Cans the first. Played pro in Poland. Averaging 7 points, 5 boards. He shot 42% from the line over there. Splits the free throws on this trip.
He's going to go on to play with Mehdi Beirut in Germany this upcoming season, and just great to see his development and his offensive game start to expand.
Jaimes inside, Amigo blocked by Young, but on the second attempt, he'll go to the line, sending Amigo rather to the line. The first one was good. Second, I have a tough time seeing the second.
I don't know, he ran off and thought it wasn't a foul, but I seen there's a lot of hand there, a lot of hand, a lot of wrist.
You have better eyes than me. 2 fouls now for Young. Amigo making the trips to the line count here late in the 4th. A little gamesmanship there from Trey Bell-Haynes, trying to ruin Amigo's routine. Didn't work this time.
Stoll here, he's got to be careful. There you go.
That's it. As you said it, Stoll gets the foul, and he's gone. And you saw him slap the goal.
I mean, he compounds this mistake right here, right? Canada's in the bonus, he put them at the free throw line. At the same time, we're just a bit too excited before the ball was even inbounded, right? It's going to be, you just get a head start now, go get the showers going, get the showers started, warm them up.
Banton talking a little junk to him as he leaves the game, trying to bait him into attack. Bill Haynes at the line for 2 free throws. Calmly knocks down the first. Important possession now for Mexico. They want to go to Amigo. They do. Young aggressive with him, bodying him up. Good skip pass. Bonilla on the drive. Amigo in the lane and lays it up. Canada trying to close the show now. Haynes being hounded by Willis. Bill Haynes turns the corner right to the rim. Can't get it to go. Young couldn't follow. Mexico on the run. It's Bonilla. They want to go inside to Jaime, who has a smaller Bill Haynes on him. Jaime. He's going to go to the line as Bill Haynes just grabbed him and made sure he didn't get a shot off. You see Banton bringing the crew in for instruction, feeling they need to regroup.
Trey Bell here just, Smart just got too deep under the rim and knew it, just didn't allow him to get up, and a hard foul put him at the free throw line to earn it, as opposed to just giving up a potential and one opportunity.
That's asking for the unsportsmanlike foul. They obviously didn't get it on that call. Timeout on the floor. With a minute 14 remaining in the game, Canada lead. Here's Coach Mitchell.
Hey, we're going angle at 8. We're fist up. Everybody flat on the baseline. Angle at 8. Relax. Hey, yes, set it. Don't go up at 16. Chucky, Trey, above the three-point line. Every basket, every free throw, set up. You're down here, Lloyd. And you're down here, Khalid. Manage the clock, be smart, make good decisions. Okay, we have no fouls to get. All right, let's go.
Coaching so important at the FIBA level. Talking to some coaches and how the difference is that they felt like between the NBA game, the FIBA game, the coaches just have so much more influence on a play-to-play basis.
They do, because there's a lot more to control, right? And you also have to remember these are 10-minute quarters, so the game's a lot shorter, it goes a lot quicker. There's a lot more influence that the coaches have, and they have to have that composure and just understand a lot more time, a lot more score, a lot more foul situations. So there's an importance and an emphasis on your head coach and the ability to make those decisions in timely manners, because it gives your team confidence. But there's such importance on the assistants on the bench too, because there's so much that has to be tracked, and they're that second and third eye for what's going on the court.
0 for 2 from the line that trip by Jaimes. We all heard the play. Let's see how it plays out. For Banton, he's going to wait for 8 seconds. Under a minute to play in the game. Banton on Amigo. Dances, kicks. Henry Blair from the corner. Can't get it to go. Strong rebound by Amigo. Bonilla quickly up the court. Iran wanted to take that shot, but Banton closed out well. It's Jaime on defensive pandy. Mexico using a lot of clock here. Amigo His scoop shot no good. Bell Haynes with the strong rebound. He'll go the length of the floor for free throws as Canada 30 seconds away from moving on to the semifinals. First foul for Willis. Bell Haynes one free throw away from getting into double digits, joining Henry, Blair, Pandy, and Banton. Mexico takes their final timeout. 29.9 remaining in the game. Canada can taste it. A chance for a semifinal berth. Guaranteeing themselves a chance to play for a medal here at the AmeriCup. Here is Coach Quintana. Well, we've seen some pretty crazy finishes so far here at the AmeriCup as we take a look at Fabian Jaimes, who has a double-double, 11 points, 10 rebounds. This would be the wildest of finishes if Mexico are able to make a comeback here. Can't use too much clock here on this possession. They'll inbound the front court. It'll be Bonilla. This is Jaimes. Lead on. He'll trigger the three. Indeed. Canada got to be strong on the basketball here. Foul in the backcourt on Jaimes. I'll send Juggy Henry Blair to the line. Third foul on Jaimes. Blair short arms the first. Misses the second. Heat on. Goes to the basket. Mexico still alive. Canada calls for time with 16.6. No timeouts for either team here down the stretch. Here is Coach Mitchell in an important conversation with his young team. .6 remaining, an important situation here for both teams after their Iran's bucket rather. You're Coach Mitchell and his instructions to his team. It will Banton to inbound. No timeouts either way, no fouls to give either way. Banton on the floor with Henry Blair, who's fouled by Biron. Bell Haynes also on the floor with Pandy and Young. That's been the closing unit for Canada. Henry Blair just went to the line and missed back-to-back free throws, has a chance to make up for it with this trip.
It's an important trip too, right? If you want to start to work towards closing out this game and not leaving the door open for Mexico. I'd be nervous over here, every part of that rim.
Coach Mitchell, sigh of relief that time to see Blair have his 11th point. 12 and counting for Blair. Biron, this is a guy you have to watch from 3. Amigo can't handle the pass. A bad pass there by Biron. And it goes out of bounds. 11 seconds away from the semifinals are the Canadians.
And that's where Stahl being on the bench hurts if you're Mexico, right? Just somebody to make decisions, you know, late games right now. And if you're Canada, you know, you're proud about this victory, or 9 seconds away from it, because this team took a lot of scrutiny coming into this tournament about the players that they brought to the tournament, right? Where were the quote-unquote A-listers, or where were some of the NBA guys or the high-level European guys? But I think a lot of people lost sight of the development aspect, and these guys here are still going to be competing in the windows and keeping this group together, and chemistry, and the ability to build chemistry from that. They came out here and they've grown, right? So it's now a team that's potentially moving on to, with 8 seconds, to a semifinal in a tournament that most didn't have much expectation for.
Willis for 3. Mexico not going away. Bell Haynes got to get it in. Gets it to Banton, and he's fouled. 2.1 to play. Should Canada win and move on to the semifinals, they'll await the winner of Brazil and the Dominican Republic. Brazil and Canada battled hard in the first game on match day 1 between the two teams. Brazil pulling it out in the 4th quarter using the crowd and the home court advantage. I'm sure Canada would love an opportunity at revenge. That may happen. We'll see Brazil and the DR play a little later on today. Banton misses the second, and that's how we'll end the game. 82-77. Canada moving on to the semifinals here at the AmeriCup. Well, a good effort from Mexico. Their tournament comes to an end. The Canadians, young squad, getting experience here in Brazil, and will have a chance to at least play for a medal on Sunday. They'll have the off day tomorrow before they play in the semifinals on Saturday afternoon, local time in Brazil, as we take a look at the final stats from this game. Smiles all around, again, struggling from 3-point range, but Canada finding a way. Delano Banton, who's about to be announced to the crowd as the player of the game, took over in that 3rd quarter onto the 4th. And free throws at the end from Henry Blair close the show. What a team effort. You could really go down the line and say something about each and every single player that stepped on the floor in this one, from the Kennedys, from the Pandies, the Grays, everyone's going to highlight Banton and what he did, but it was a complete team effort.
Complete team effort, you're right. Everybody's going to highlight Banton, but what I liked about what he did, he trusted his guys, right? And he drew the attention a number of times, kicked out, and we see Pandy hit a corner three. That was important, and a number of guys that stepped up, but more importantly, and you mentioned it earlier, it's the coaching and how much of an impact they have, right? And I thought Coach Nathaniel Mitchell did a tremendous job of, his adjustments defensively, 1 through 4 switching, and Mexico had a tough time with that. And the guys on the bench, they believed it. They trusted. They came out and they were an extension of what the coaches were asking of them. And then you had, Trey Bell Haynes again that came up big in this last part of the latter part of the fourth quarter in his ability to get into the paint, get downhill, transition, made a couple plays there, and they just understood. Every possession was valuable down the stretch, took care of the basketball, and executed what was asked for them. Came out with a victory, and they fought. Again, the youngest team in this tournament, and you could just see them growing as the tournament's gone on, and that the attention to detail, the focus, the intentionality that they played with was important and inspiring to see, especially coming from such a young group.
On the other end, Mexico leave the AmeriCup. They had history on day one with the upset win over the U.S. The first time ever Mexico had defeated the Americans in the AmeriCup competition. That man right there, Iran, was incredible shooter from deep, Yair Bonilla. You know you're going to see him at AmeriCups down the line, and if they make it to World Championships, he's going to be certainly someone to keep an eye on. Maybe one day you see him in the NBA, just 19 years old. This could provide so much length, size, the ability to handle a rock. If he can shoot a little better, he's going to make some money.
I think that's the one, he's going to make money regardless, but I think that's the one dimension there. You're right, if he can add that to his game. And we're not talking about a guy that needs to shoot 40% from the three, because that's not his game, right? He's going to be a slasher, he's going to be a defender, he's going to use his length. But if he can, have that ability to shoot that ball from that 32 to 35% range, he allows, himself to give his team an offensive threat. The game is penetration, ball screen, kickouts, not to knock that down. Now he's able to force defenses to close out on him hard and get to what he does naturally, and that's getting to the rack, finishing, and just slashing, right? So a tremendous talent.
82-77 your score. Canada moving on. Up next, Puerto Rico versus the U.S. Canada will play the winner of Brazil and Dominican Republic. We'll see them a little later on. Thanks for joining us here at the AmeriCup. We got U.S. Puerto Rico coming up next. For Javon Shepard and Carlin Gay, we'll see you shortly.